You know, time flies, but it was 10 years ago that in this very same place, just with chairs turned in the opposite direction, looking to the east, Sister Jane Gerety, at her inauguration as our 7th president, said, "So I found my theme. It is a theme of hope for the university, founded in hope, the hope of Salve Regina. Hail Queen, Mother of Mercy, our life, our sweetness, and our hope." Always with that symbolism of the East as that which governs new beginnings, and yes, hope, we now, here, take this moment with Sister Jane on the same lawn to look west. The beautiful western light represents wisdom, awareness, and enlightenment that came from your hope. So thank you, Sister Jane. That's what we're here for. I'd like to ask to begin, it's my pleasure to ask Jamie Bova, our mayor of Newport, City by the Sea, to bring greetings from the city as we dedicate Gerety Hall.
Thank you very much. And thank you to Sister Jane for giving us this opportunity to be here today to celebrate her. It is truly awe-inspiring to think about the dedication that you have shown to your students, most importantly, but also to the university as a whole and to the people of Newport as a whole. And we are so thankful and so grateful to have had you in this role. And we as a city all collectively count you as a friend and supporter. And we are so pleased and honored to be able to take part in this celebration of you and all your hard work. So thank you very much. And I know that with Sister Jane's departure as the president, it does not mean that she will be going very far and that we will be losing her guidance. And I am pleased to say that she will always be a friend of the city, and we will always count you as a friend and show our love to you and our gratitude to you for all you have done in your years of service, both to the university and to the city. So thank you very much, and we are very proud to be here today celebrating you, Sister Jane.
Thank you, Mayor Bova. Now, with a shared sense of hope between Salve and the state of Rhode Island, with hope as its motto, representative, and yes, definitely friend of Sister Jane, Deb Ruggiero.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you, everyone. It's an honor to be here this afternoon. I can actually count on one hand how many times I've missed a legislative session, and today is one of them. I would rather be here with my dear friend, Sister Jane Gerety, than anywhere else in the world. There will be many votes, there will be budget conversations, but there will never, ever be a moment like this. The words I use to describe Sister Jane are grace, kindness, and mercy. She celebrates 60 years this year with the Sisters of Mercy. You know, some people come into our lives and they quietly go. Others stay a while and they leave footprints on our heart, and we are never the same. Sister Jane has left footprints on my heart, and perhaps your heart too. How blessed are we? I come today as a friend of Sister Jane, and I actually have a button now to prove it, right? But I'm also here as a state representative with a citation from the House of Representatives, signed by myself, Speaker Mattiello, Leader Shikarchi, and Filippi. Be it hereby known to all that the Rhode Island House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to Sister Jane Gerety in recognition of the dedication of Gerety Hall in honor of your extraordinary leadership as president of Salve Regina University. Thank you for your commitment to the Mercy education, to student success, and to spiritual growth. When I first met Sister Jane 11 years ago, she joined me on a radio program I have called Amazing Women, because she is an amazing woman, right? I knew then she was a great fan and had such fondness for William Butler Yeats. I end every radio program with a quote, and I ended with a quote that day from Yeats when I met her. So it seems fitting to end today with the very same quote that began our friendship 11 years ago. Happiness is neither virtue nor pleasure, nor this thing or that, but simply growth. We are happiest when we are growing. Thank you, Sister Jane, for the spiritual growth, the academic growth, and for those footprints on our hearts. God bless and Godspeed.
Thank you, Representative. It's an honor now to introduce a person who always takes on many roles at once. Our Chairman of the Board of Trustees, and speaking on behalf of all Salve Regina University graduates, Janet Robinson.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we gather to celebrate the many achievements of Sister Jane Gerety, the 7th president of Salve Regina University. We also gather to dedicate this architectural treasure, Wakehurst, in her honor, naming this student center Gerety Hall. Sister Jane has served Salve Regina University for 24 years, serving first as a trustee and then as a trustee and president since 2009. As her legacy reflects, Sister Jane has worked tirelessly to advance this university and to increase the value of a Salve Regina education. During her tenure, she has introduced new academic programs, launched doctorate and master's programs, launched a fully online program in nursing, and a Master's of Fine Arts degree program in creative writing. She has expanded programs and experiential learning opportunities in business, supported faculty-student research partnerships in the sciences, and established the continuing education program on our Warwick campus to serve the education needs of working adults. Sister Jane has also been devoted to improving the facilities on our campus. She spearheaded the largest renovation and expansion project in the history of the university. With the O'Hare Academic Center project, the university added 23,000 square feet to our academic building and made critical updates to education spaces, including establishing a collaborative learning environment and renovating laboratories for programs in science and nursing. With this project, the university has opened a digital forensic lab and incorporated cyber education across the undergraduate curriculum. In addition, Sister Jane directed the Miley Hall cafeteria expansion, the conversion of Caroline's House, a historic carriage house, to a student residence, the renovation of Topa Field to better serve the needs of our student athletes, and implemented expansive improvements to improve energy efficiency with advanced technology. During Sister Jane's tenure, the university has received numerous awards and recognitions. These include architectural awards for stewardship from Faith and Forum magazine, the Arthur Ross Award for Architectural Stewardship, and the Palladio Award for New Construction from Traditional Building and Period Homes magazine. Money magazine ranked Salve Regina number 18 on a list of the most transformative colleges in the United States, delivering what researchers say is the most value add when it comes to helping students succeed after graduation. During Sister Jane's decade as president, Salve Regina's ranking in the U.S. News and World Report's annual survey of best colleges climbed 10 spots to 27th among regional universities in 2018 and was named a best college for veterans. Architectural Digest selected Salve Regina as one of the 50th most beautiful colleges in America. And last, but surely not least, collegemagazine.com named Salve as a top 10 college for surfing. Hang 10, Sister Jane. A critically important achievement to highlight is the success that Sister Jane has had in advancing education access with the scholarship program here at Salve Regina. When Sister Jane began her presidency, she initiated a major fundraising campaign, Scholars and Scholarship, to reach 100 plus gifted, endowed funds valued at over $15 million to support students, faculty, and research. She not only met her goal, she far exceeded it, to the direct benefit of many. The success and the long-lasting benefits of this program is a true and fitting reflection of a president who placed her commitment to and passion for students and their access to education at the very top of her leadership priorities. It is surely not an accident that Sister Jane Gerety is widely known as the student's president. Every student on this campus during the 10 years of her presidency knew that Sister Jane put their needs first. In her words and in her deeds, she did just that. Her immediate connection with people and genuine interest in their well-being welcomes friendship, support, and sharing. She is a well-known and cherished face across this campus, as students have looked to her for her trademark warm smile, a kind word of encouragement, or a sincere inquiry as to how they are faring. They have also admitted to us that when they have seen her enjoying her multiple cones of frozen yogurt, they were very assured that all was well at Salve and beyond. Her student-centered focus has brought this university to a new level of success by creating an atmosphere of innovation and inspiration where faculty and students dare to dream and dare to imagine. Sister Jane, Salve Regina has been enriched by your leadership. You have loved Salve Regina, and Salve Regina has loved you right back. You've been a true leader in every sense of the word, by being unwaveringly authentic, trustworthy, empathetic, courageous, collaborative, intellectually curious, devoted to service, kind, generous, and oh so humble. I sincerely hope that Sister Catherine McCauley, the founder of the Mercy Order, is looking down on us today, for she would be so proud of her Sister Jane and of the truly outstanding work that you have done as this university's president. Sister Jane, you have defined for us all what it means to be harmonious, just, and merciful. It is fitting that the Student Center, a hub of student interaction and sharing, is the building that will bear your name. You have been a center of achievement, of kindness, of service, and of inspiration for every soul on this campus. Your beloved William Butler Yeats once said, "Education is not filling the pail, but lighting the fire." Thanks to you, Sister Jane, there are many fires burning brightly here on this university campus and with our graduates well beyond our borders. Your legacy will live on in all of those you have touched, for without question, you have led with your head and with your heart, and that has made us all realize that there is and always will be only one Sister Jane. Well done.
Thank you, Janet, very much for your kind and thoughtful words for Sister Jane. With pleasure, I ask Dr. Jameson Chase, Professor of Biology and Biomedical Sciences and Speaker of the Faculty Assembly, to speak on behalf of all faculty for Sister Jane.
Thank you. Speaking as one voice for 128 faculty at Salve Regina is an almost impossible task. Almost, that is, except when honoring the legacy of Sister Jane as the president of this university. Let me begin the way Sister Jane always begins, with a poem by one of her favorites, William Butler Yeats. Had I the heavens embroidered cloths, and wrought with golden and silver light, the blue and the dim and the dark cloths of night and light and the half-light. I would spread the cloths under your feet, but I, being poor, have only my dreams, and I spread my dreams under your feet. Tread softly, because you tread on my dreams. Sister Jane has left us with a great many things, the greatest of which may be hope and dreams. Let them guide us, and let us tread lightly upon them. Hope has been an ever-present message from Sister Jane over the years. She entered during a financial crisis, dealt with a great deal of administrative turnover of deans and provosts, not to mention gas outages, hurricanes, blizzards, and all the while with this ever-present demographic cliff of higher education looming somewhere off on the horizon. Through the storms and tumultuous times over the past 10 years, faculty have always come to trust Sister Jane's steady but light hand on the helm, always steering us clearly towards the goal of a world that is harmonious, just, and merciful. Through this journey and under her leadership, the academic enterprise at Salve Regina has thrived. Sister Jane has fostered faculty creativity and innovation. New academic programs in the last 10 years include new bachelor degree programs in biochemistry, global studies, environmental studies, healthcare administration and management, a 3+2 engineering degree program, a fully online RN to BSN nursing degree program. She has supported interdisciplinary studies by creating a new department, pulling together the cultural, environmental, and global studies. Graduate programs have grown extensively under her leadership, including master's degree programs in administration of justice and homeland security, applied behavioral analysis, clinical rehabilitation and mental health counseling, holistic leadership, rehabilitation counseling, it's quite a list, innovation and strategic management, a master's of science in nursing, the low residency master's of fine arts and creative writing, as well as doctoral programs in nursing and international relations. For the sake of time, I'll just add that under her leadership, there are also a number of new undergraduate minors, graduate certificate degree programs, and a complete revision of the undergraduate core curriculum. Furthermore, Sister Jane has supported and championed faculty scholarship. The faculty have been very productive, generating $3.9 million in grants, giving 1,527 scholarly presentations, producing 508 publications, works of art, and performances all in the last 10 years. Sister Jane at every turn has emphasized that the most important scholarship is a scholarship that we practice side by side with our students. Therefore, what could be a more fitting tribute than to adorn the halls of Gerety Hall than with Sister Jane's portrait painted by a student, Victor Aguirre Williams, under the mentorship of Ernie Joliker. This painting was commissioned by the Faculty Assembly, and I encourage you all to venture inside later and enjoy this spectacular display of craftsmanship. In the years to come, when future students, staff, faculty, guests pass by this portrait, not only will they reflect on Salve Regina's wonderful leader, but they will also be reminded of the importance of student-centered scholarship and mentoring. When I think of all of Sister Jane's wonderful attributes and how they might forever be connected to this building that now bears her name, two come foremost to mind. That in a hall named Gerety, the doors to every room will always be open, and through those doors, students will always find faculty and staff who, in the manner of Sister Jane, know how to truly listen with kindness, empathy, and humility. Thank you, Sister Jane, not just for what you've accomplished, but for who you are.
Thank you, Jameson. Always thoughtful, always thorough. On behalf of Salve Regina staff members, appropriately, we ask Chiquita Baller, Director of Student Activities, based here in Gerety Hall, to speak for all of us who are university staff.
Good evening. God is not unjust. He will not forget your work, the love that you have shown him as you have helped his people and continue to help them. Hebrews 6:10. It is with great honor that I stand before you today to assist in the dedication of this building to our president, Sister Jane Gerety. For many years, this building has served as the hub of campus life. It has been a space for students to seek knowledge, guidance, and support, a place for them to become involved on campus and to connect with our community partners. This building has been a space for students to grab a bite to eat or just take a nap on the sofas to re-energize for the day. It is a space for students to be themselves. It is only fitting that this building, the heart of the Salve student experience, and a place where our students go to seek guidance and refuge, will be named after Sister Jane. Over the last 10 years, she has been dedicated to supporting students and their activities on campus. Through her leadership, students, faculty, and staff have been provided with many opportunities to engage in campus life and to develop new initiatives that advance the student experience on campus. Thank you, Sister, for your support and dedication to Salve and to the student experience. We will not forget the work that you have done on this campus. You will continue to be blessed for the mercy and kindness that you have shown all of us over the years. I am honored to work in a building that is dedicated to you, and I challenge all of us here today to strive to continue her legacy of advocating for students as they engage in our campus community. Thank you.
Thank you, Chiquita. And now, although he really needs no introduction, President of Student Government Association and graduating senior Edward Eddie Cullinan on behalf of Salve Regina students.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so honored to share this day with you all at an important time in our institution's history, where we get to thank Sister Jane Gerety for her many contributions to Salve Regina as our president over the last 10 years. There is no better building to dedicate in honor of Sister Jane than Wakehurst, our student center. Sister Jane has truly been a student's president, as Janet said, great minds think alike, maintaining close relationships with students and supporting their voice on campus. In my role as student government president, Sister Jane has always been someone I could turn to for support. For most students, they think of Sister Jane leaving Miley with a cone of frozen yogurt, bringing candy and snacks to student athletes for conference games, or her willingness to meet with any student in her office. Young alumni also maintain close relationships with Sister Jane, catching up over lunch when they come into town. After Salve, I will be attending graduate school, and one school I was considering was the University of Georgia. In making my pros and cons list when it came to decision time, a pro for UGA was that Sister Jane would be close by and we could meet up for lunch. I'm so lucky to be graduating with Sister Jane this year as a member of the class of 2019. Over the last year, the Salve community came together to create a book of poetry honoring Sister Jane. After all, she is one to quote a poet or a book she read recently when she speaks across campus, having the perfect quote for almost any occasion. The book has become much more than poetry, however, with students, faculty, staff, and graduates sharing words, thoughts, and aspirations, all with the common theme of the profound impact Sister Jane has had on them in so many different ways. Today, we present Sister Jane with this book and call upon Darren Christie, a junior at Salve, to read his submission.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, technical difficulties. I don't think so.
Are your words in there?
I have a copy.
Okay. If not, you can
Yeah.
just.
Also speaking into the microphone when I shouldn't be.
Here you go.
At the end of last year, I felt anonymous at Salve. That all changed at the beginning of September when I was able to meet with you. We talked about my involvement in Salve Theater, my academics, and most importantly, my involvement in community service. It felt great to share my experiences with someone, especially the head of the university. At the end of the meeting, you told me you looked forward to seeing my future, and that gave me the motivation to continue to strive academically and professionally. My only regret is that I didn't get a photo. So thank you, Sister Jane.
Great, thank you. Sister Jane, it is with joy for the university that we ask you to come forward and unveil the stone carved in your name. May I ask Eddie and Darren to please come up too? And Sister Jane, nothing more fitting than you for your student-centered leadership. We now ask our Vice President of Mission Integration, Dr. Teresa Landrigan-Wepley, to bless this building today, that the wisdom, empathy, and compassion of Sister Jane emanate always from Gerety Hall.
What a gift it is to share this grace-filled occasion with all of you and with you, Sister Jane. Please join me in bestowing this blessing on Gerety Hall as we commemorate the many contributions to Salve Regina University of Sister Jane Gerety. God of mercy, we gather today in gratitude for the leadership and legacy of Sister Jane Gerety. Sister Jane has received each one of us with open arms and delight. May the doors of Gerety Hall swing wide, welcoming persons of all beliefs, inviting us into ever deeper relationship and communion. Sister Jane has accompanied us through seasons of hope and seasons of challenge, with abiding wisdom, keen wit, committed service, and empathetic action. May the classrooms, meeting rooms, and offices of Gerety Hall be places of meaningful encounter and dialogue, reflection and action, now and in all the seasons to come. Sister Jane has transformed our hearts and our community through her living witness of mercy. May all those who work and play, study and serve in Gerety Hall be joined with her in mission, so together we may build a more harmonious, just, and merciful world through the offering of our lives. We ask this blessing through the Holy One, whose name is Mercy. Our Lady of Mercy, pray for us. Amen.
Thank you, Teresa. Sister Jane, it's only appropriate that you, as our 7th president, who we honor today, get the last word and dedication. Because the one thing we all know about you, whether here on campus or traveling far and wide with our graduates, parents, and friends, is that nobody says it better.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you, everyone. I don't think I have to be at my own funeral. And I promise I'm not going to quote William Butler Yeats. But you know, as I greet you on this special day today, it's special for me, obviously. It's also special for my family here. I remember something that happened 40 years ago when my parents were visiting me in Ann Arbor. And we were in the graduate library, and my father opened the card catalog. They had card catalogs back then. And I said, Dad, what are you doing? He said, I'm looking to see if there's a Gerety in the card catalog, if there's a book by Gerety. He didn't find one. So no book by Gerety, but now there's a building named Gerety. And I think Dad would be very proud here in 2019. Dad would be proud. Mother, I think, wouldn't know quite what to make of it. She'd be a little mystified. But what she'd be really happy about is seeing this throng, this bunch of people who are here to praise the name of Gerety and to have fun. Mother's sign-off always was, enjoy your life, every conversation. So what I want to say is, Dad, I'm glad you're proud. And Mother, I have enjoyed my life here at Salve Regina. You know, this dedication also causes me to ponder the meaning of buildings, and I'm not going to go on and on about this, but buildings especially to the Sisters of Mercy. I think many of you have heard the story of Catherine McCauley, who inherited $1 million. She had already been doing a lot of good work, but when she got the $1 million, what did she decide to do? Buy a building. And she decided to buy a building in the wealthy part of Dublin, and to have in that building women who needed to learn things, women who needed shelter, women who needed to work with her. And when people asked her why she wanted to buy that building in Dublin, in the wealthy part of Dublin, she said, the rich need to see the plight of the poor. That's why she bought the building there. She chose that neighborhood for that reason. Salve Regina, as many of you know, started with a building, Ochre Court. The cottage, designed by Richard Morris Hunt and built by Ogden Golet to be used just for the summer season. And like many other cottages, Ochre Court had walls and gates around it. And I think the idea of the walls and gates in those days were to keep people out, to keep the other out, so that those who owned them and played in them could enjoy them. When the building was acquired in 1947, the sisters who bought that building immediately reversed the meaning of the walls and gates. They opened the gates, and the idea was, let people in, come in, come in. And we have never stopped inviting people in. At first, it was just a few women. That class of 1947 numbered 48. The story of Salve Regina for almost 75 years has been one of opening the gates wider and wider. First, we welcome men from the Naval War College, and then undergraduate men to both classrooms and dormitories, online students from all over the country, older students in the Circle of Scholars, and international students from all over the world. We not only welcomed the students, we welcomed ideas that were unheard of in 1947, but we said, come in, we need to listen to them, we need to hear. The students came to Salve to study, to play, to develop themselves spiritually and intellectually. But like those original Sisters of Mercy, they didn't stay behind the gates and the walls. They went out, like those walking nuns in Dublin. They went out and worked in hospitals and schools, volunteers at organizations all over Newport to serve the poor, the sick, the uneducated. And you know, you can find them today, as Mayor Bova said, all over Newport, at the MLK Center, at Best Buddies, at the Special Olympics, at the McKinney Shelter, and on and on and on. They went out through those gates. But you know, a building is, of course, just an assembly of stone and glass. It can be a relic of the past, as many mansions in Newport are, or it can live and breathe because of the people who live and work in it. This building, Wakehurst, has gained so much life over the years. I'm sure that actually members of the Van Allen family who first owned this building, from whom Salve bought it, are turning over in their graves when they see the people, the students particularly, who come in and out of this building, and especially as we've observed during exam time, in their pajama bottoms and their yoga pants and their flip-flops. Faculty offices are here as well, and I'll tell you, the faculty don't dress that much better. I think of all the staff and students, staff, and faculty who have brought life to this building now. And Irish though I am, I always remember those members of the Salve community who now make up what we Catholics call the Communion of Saints. Sister Leona, Lenny, Jim, Jay, Glenn, Peter, Allison, all who have gone before us. Life has flowed through this building and continues to flow through it. It is life that is, as Gerald Manley Hopkins said, wound with mercy round and round as though with air. So, you know, there's so much that thrills me about this building on the Wakehurst property being named Gerety Hall. I'm in awe that it carries the name of my family and therefore speaks of love, fidelity, and perseverance. My sisters and brother, Kate, Missy, and Jim, are here. They too inherited from our parents love, fidelity, and perseverance. It also means so much to me that Gerety Hall is here in the heart of campus, forming a triangle with McKillop Library and the Antone Center, buildings named for my Sisters of Mercy predecessors, Sister Lucille, Sister Trey's, both of whom did so much to build this Mercy institution. I'm honored to be in that company. My hope is that this Mercy triangle of buildings will become itself a symbol of mercy at the heart of Salve Regina. So finally, let me say how grateful I am that Salve Regina opened its gates to me, welcomed me here. As I walk out of these gates, I know that the spirit of mercy has been deepened in me during the decade I've spent here. And like those original sisters, I hope to carry that mercy into a world that needs it desperately. I promise you today to continue Salve's mission wherever I am, to work for a world that is harmonious, just, and merciful. Thank you, everyone.